How you doing, guys? Happy New Year. We're out here. I just turned on the heater, so that's gonna be a little bit. I want to organize some of this stainless and stuff, but I think what I'm gonna do first is I already bagged some of the bolts and the springs and stuff like that. I'm gonna bring these to work and start stripping them down. But I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pop these two doors off first, because some of the stuff's going in the car. This trim will probably all go up in the loft, somewhere safe. That trim up top there, I'm not really sure. It's right there. What I'm going to do with it, that's delicate. We did hook up with a guy did contact us. He's upstate New York with a load of Eagles, Concord, I think some Hornet stuff. Load of Eagles. I think he has 13 Eagles to be parted. So it looks very promising for some doors. Okay, like I said, not that these doors can't be fixed. This door I'd definitely like to replace, just because of the amount of filler it's going to take in the front corner. Even if I found a door with a little bit of rust in the corner and no dent, I'd rather do that for long term, because I'm going to have a very hard time getting that door straight with the beam behind it. That's the whole purpose. The other door just has the little stuff in the corner, you know, the area in the corner I could take care of if need be. But this guy's looking for $25 a door, and another $25 if it comes with the handle. These handles are very prone to breaking. Every time mine started to get stiff, first thing I did was lubed everything, and then they worked like butter again. If you don't do that, they snap off. So even Junior says it might be wise to grab two front handles while we're there. I don't know if the fronts and backs are the same. And obviously lefts and rights are different. With that said, I told Junior spoke to the guy for a while on the phone yesterday. I didn't. I told him, I said, come out here and make a list of everything you think you need for this car. And when we're up there, we'll see if he has it. So, with that said, let's get these doors off. Okay, guys. I feel like I'm waiting for Tattoo to say, here's the plane, the plane. I know that was a Volare. But, yeah, I never noticed the rear hinge on these. It's one hinge. It's two hinges, but it's one hinge. So this whole big mechanism is one hinge with two hinges that come off it with one pin. So, yeah, now it's time to organize. We put it off too long. So now it's time to go through the car, organize, get rid of some of this junk. So we can work on this. And obviously I gotta find two safe places for these doors right this minute. Well, basically what's going to happen is that table's going to come down, and that's going to open up the front of the garage a little bit. So I was going to slip the motor under the car. I made a video about that, but never posted it, I don't think. And just leave it under there. I was going to wrap it fully in plastic, just leave it under there. But the problem is if I do that, then the cross member has to come out of this car, and that's what holds the wheels on. Can't do it. Or else I would have just left it under there and moved it with us and did all sorts of whatever. So with that, I'm going to take off these sill plates, take off the strikers, some of this welding. It's never quite made it to the roof. Never understood why. And Junior's well aware that this area right here, do this part of the beef pillar really nice, because you see it. You know what I mean? From like here up into here, nice. The rest of the stuff, just round the corner, call it good like this. Done. Obviously there's no rust to deal with. Sure would be nice if this was like over here. But that's for later on in life. Wow, they do it a little different on this one. The beef pillow is actually behind this rail. Wow, look at that. Totally different than my car. My car is all stamped as one piece. But this right here, this actual lip or roof, whatever, is all one piece. This beef pillar slips behind that and tacks onto the top of it. It slips over the top of it here. My car, the B-pillar slips on top of the rocker, but was part of this. And I grafted that baby, had to be a foot in either direction. So, and flushed it and whatever. And my welting goes around. This clearly does not. Hey, it's amazing. These jams are actually pretty clean. I've given one wipe down with glass cleaner so far. For original jams. These things are definitely actually pretty nice. By the time you put the sill plates back on, still a little dirt like in here. But I want to work on the dirt in this edge right here with a quarter. There's like a dirt line right in there. Look at this. Look how far the quarter panel sticks out from the bottom. Nothing lines up on these cars. So, yeah, if we were going to shoot this the same color, I would have just left these. But, if we're switching colors, I guess I got to paint it all. So, could have just masked off the actual B-pillar and shot it. But I'm not gonna, what's the word? I'm not gonna cut corners at this point. I already got the doors off. So, but they definitely don't need a lot of work. I can't get that striker out because I don't have a Torx bit. This one I just put an Allen key in and took it out. So we're good. I'll bring home a big Torx bit for that size tomorrow. Get that out. So, and then like I said, just final sanding of the center. But everything else is just going to be, what you call it, a scuff. That's it. So, took off all the welting. I got to take off the inner kick panel here, and this piece right here on the dashboard, which I got the one screw off, actually comes all the way up. So I'm going to take that off also, so we can just mask this off. Push the carpet in, and we're going to be good. So I'm going to work on that dirt line. Okay, guys. I gave that a clean in down in that crack. Okay. Came over here. No rod or anything like that. I don't know how it looks in the camera. I actually went in here and scraped all this out. I didn't like the way the seam seal looked sticking out of here. Never did. So I wanted to make sure everything was sound, which it is. It's completely solid. Plus, to me, this looks like a drain. And if that's the case, it was sealed over. So I wanted to get all that gack out of that one line. The rest of them I don't really care about. Everything else looks fine. I just wanted to get the gack out of that one line because it kind of like looked horrendous. And when you open the door, you're going to see right here. Okay. And this all allows Junior to just come in here and sand. This stuff is pretty thick right here. Okay. And there's actually runs running down the rock about, I mean, thick. Like triple the amount of normal paint is on there. So this will be sanded. Like I said to Junior, if he wants to do this bottom lip up to where it makes this curve, or up to where it goes on to where that thing is, that's fine. I said, don't, you know, there's areas I don't want him to even bother getting into. I just want, when you open the door, everything to look nice. I don't like the chips that are down here when you see people paint over them and stuff like that. It just annoys me. Basically, at this point, I want to pull these two hinges off. I labeled them because bottom line is they're all full of grease and oil for 40 years, and I really got to prep here. But then again, the fender's going to come off, but I want to just be able to prep right up the side here. The door's going to have to be refitted anyway. So, plus I'd like to see if these pins do pop out. I'm not sure if they do. If they did, they'd pop downward. That I could see. If that is the case, I wish I had an extra hinge. I'm going to see if I do get a door from the guy, if I can grab some hinges with the doors. Maybe experiment on one of them. And just in case there's anything wrong with these hinges, I don't think there is. The hinges are tight, but you got to remember the door was hit right here. So something is tweaked, I think. Even though we can get the body lines right, I think something is tweaked. But with that said, I'm going to pop these two off, and that'll give us access to working down here. I mean, this fender's coming off also. And this is as far as I'm going to go with body color, even though in the initial paint it'll probably get it all up in there. But when I come back This will be body color, and then straight down will be body color. I will cover this and do everything from there forward. Maybe including this, I'm not sure, but everything from there forward will be like an undercoated. And initially, they bolted this fender to this rocker and had seam sealer between it and no paint. Don't know if that's the way it's going to be this time. I think this time it's going to be painted, and then it'll sit on some seam sealer. The purpose of the seam sealer is not only to keep the metal from rusting, but to keep water from going down here into your rocker panel and rotting it on this car. So, no need to start rotting it now. Yeah. I can't wait for reassembly day. This disassembly is getting long. There you go, guys. My intention is not to sand this to bare metal. I had lines coming down, which to me look like seam sealer, and rust oozing out from under this hinge, running down. I just wanted to make sure that all this was solid. Same with here, and I want to go back over this. You can see the bump right here, and the bump right here. Things like this, sticking up, when you go to put your door on or adjust it, make the hinge hook on it. And you're like, why doesn't it move? Why doesn't it move? Why doesn't it move? And you gotta actually pull it away and make it move. By that time you scratched and destroyed everything. So I'm gonna hit that with the Rolex wheel. Like I said, that was only purpose. That was the only reason I did this. So I just wanted to make sure that there was no problems there, which there isn't. There isn't any problems here. So, okay guys, that's as much as I'm going to do in here for two reasons. One, I'm using 80 grit. 80 grit's just going to cause scratches I'm going to have to sand out. And two, I'll do the rest when I got the fender off, and I just go in there real quick with the DA and a little hand sanding just to down this strip. I just don't want the rust oozing down so you see it again. Not that it's going to cause any rot like you see here. I don't want the staining. So we might clean out the rest of this little area right here. Come in here with a little piece of sandpaper, do that. Then we'll do the same down here and right back over there on that opposite side, which is part of the rocker. So, because like I said, when you look, you see right in here. So how much you see? I mean, I don't know. There is a filler piece that goes back in here. That covers all this, obviously, or the dirt would just go right into the door and into your car. But it's nice when you're looking and see that this looks clean. And that's just the goal. And I gotta get some wax and grease remover, start taking this stuff off. So it's inside the gutter too. I had a satellite radio in this car, if you can believe it. And I ran the antenna wire out, you can still see the mark of it, out and up the gutter, and it sat on top of the roof, and I just used pieces of butyl tape, and it's still in there.